The community, what is it? It is another layer of support that supports our ecosystem. We have free webinars, we have a product forum, we have the ability for you to connect, collaborate, and contribute with other educators.
A sense of community is really important for teachers to have a place where they can go to get their questions answered and get thoughts on best ways to help their students. And if you don't have a community built, there's not the trust in allowing people to be vulnerable and ask for that help, and also take into account that they have some things to learn.
Plan on joining the educator community site by just delivering some content that I may record and sharing that with my other colleagues, and hopefully I can use some of the information that they shared and bring it back to my school district as well.
It's kind of nice because you can see what different people are doing in our region as well as across the world. There's some really good PD lectures or classes on there, and it's also a chance, it looks like, for you to ask questions or just connect with people afterwards.
In education, community is everything. I think the worst thing for a teacher is to feel stranded on an island or classroom, literally speaking. And it's important that we support each other and that we have a professional learning community that we can bounce ideas off of and learn from and get inspired from.
Community is the biggest part of education. I think that we oftentimes forget that this is the people business. We're serving all kinds of people, and people are working in the people business, right? So education is all about community and building relationships, building trust. And ViewSonic does a really fantastic job of building a community, whether it's connecting you to the right people at the right time for support, building your skills and supporting you as a learner, and then also just creating a community where you can go and ask questions.
So by now, you have to be interested in technology that drives both efficiency and success. And I know you want access to complimentary virtual product training, best practices digital workshops, thought leadership blogs and podcasts, as well as customer support solutions. So join the thousands who nationwide and internationally who have already connected, collaborated, and contributed in the educator community. And be a part of a movement that is transforming classrooms with the ViewSonic ecosystem. I'll see you in the community. Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Tara Tibbs. I am the community manager and so excited to have you all with us for this session, Reach Them All, tools that reach and teach every learning style. This is our final session for the myViewBoard 3.0 Pro Tips series, and overjoyed that you're with us. We have spent several weeks with this series so that we can help you more easily transition into this refresh. And so we're ending this series with a bang, and we're going to go through inclusion tools with you. I am super excited to bring back Meredith. She did our last session, and she's back again to wrap up this series with us. So we're going to be hearing from Meredith shortly. Before I bring Meredith on, I want to remind you that we are also doing our Check for Understanding for giftograms. If you have had the opportunity to participate in the other sessions, you have already gotten your giftograms, and so now you have an opportunity to get more. And so all you need to do is stick around to the end. We're going to do a check for understanding to ensure that you have been able to grasp some of the key tools that Meredith is going to go over. And you'll also get a sneak peek at what our Class with tool looks like. So make sure you stay tuned till the end. And now I'm going to bring Meredith on. Hey,
Welcome.
Meredith.
Hi, thank you, Tara. Welcome. I'm so excited, everybody, that you're here to learn about some of myViewBoard 3.0's accessibility tools in the classroom. There are quite a few, and today we're going to highlight some of my favorites that I think all of us can, and all of our learners can benefit in our classrooms. Again, I am Meredith. Thank you for being here. I taught kindergarten for many years. I have such a passion for helpful tech tools in the classroom. And again, we are just going to review some of my favorite accessibility tools in the new myViewBoard 3.0. And before we get started, I have a question for you. And keep in mind, this can be anything in your classroom. It does not have to be tech related, viewboard related, myViewBoard related. How do you make sure that your students can learn in ways that let's see, I can't read that word, that differentiate or, excuse me. How do you make sure that your students can learn in ways that fit their different learning styles? For me in my classroom, some of my favorite teaching tools are really visuals, and that can be on myViewBoard. It can be off of myViewBoard. I love using my whiteboard in the classroom with magnets and all of my bulletin boards. I really like to make sure that they are purposeful and that they support all of my learners in the classroom. So just curious what some of us do in our classrooms that make learning accessible for all of our students, keeping in mind our English language learners, our students that might struggle with dyslexia or have visual and audio impairments. Curious about that. If anyone wants to share, just drop that in the chat so that we can engage. And we'll move on. And if you want to add that later, we can. And again, this is all about the new myViewBoard 3.0. If you have not downloaded that to your viewboard yet, I highly suggest doing it now. All of these tools here and the videos that I have, the tutorials will be with myViewBoard 3.0. So you want to make sure that you have that. And our tools to reach all learners. The first one that I'm going to review is the Spotlight tool. And if you follow me on Instagram, I highlighted this in one of my reels last week. The Spotlight tool is so much fun. It's super accessible for your students. And I really can see how this won't only help all of your learners and their different needs, but also make your content more engaging for all students. It allows you to spotlight or magnify your text while at the same time sort of dimming everything else on your screen to highlight what you are working on and to give students really just that visual of what you are reading. It can be kept to the side of your canvas so that you can use in lessons. You can resize it, and in just a minute, I will give you a tutorial on that. Then we have the Irlen filters, and this is very helpful for students with visual impairments. It will change the canvas color for your students, and it has lots of different colors so that you can sort of play with it and see which color palette might work best for your students. Then we have the immersive reader, which is perfect for English language learners. You can change that language there. It's perfect for beginning readers. It will read any text that you have on your screen. It's great for content and lots of different needs in your classroom. The speech to text tool is great for adding text on your screen just from your spoken voice. So you don't have to type it out or write it onto your viewboard. You just click and tap anywhere on your canvas and it will add text for directions. I think it's very helpful for even students. Thinking about in kindergarten, students have such big ideas and the concept and the ability to write is very tricky for many of them. So they can even do that. You can tap on the screen and teach them how to use the speech to text tool as well. And then live captions is very helpful for students with audio impairments, where it will add live captions right onto your canvas for any students that might need that accessibility tool. And starting off, one of my favorites, the Spotlight tool is available in the Magic Box. And if you were with us on my last webinar, you can also add it to the long press quick access toolbar. So you just click on your canvas and you can add that right there. So helpful. It was the first thing I added onto my long press. I just love how it will give you just a clear vision of what's on your board. Really helpful for doing things like letter hunts, learning to read. You can resize the circle or even a square or a rectangle so you can do sentences at a time. It's just so helpful. Again, you can keep that to the side of your screen, add it to your long press for easy access. And I have just a quick tutorial. And before we get started on this video, I do want to remind you that if you have just an image with text, you need to have a text box so that it can read that text for you. So as long as you have that, or I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the immersive reader, excuse me. The Spotlight tool can go on top of everything. Think of it as an extra layer on your text. Sorry, guys, the videos are using some of the same text there. So we're going to look at the video on how to get the Spotlight tool.
In the new myViewBoard 3.0, access the Spotlight tool in your Magic Box. Simply click your Magic Box button and Spotlight. This will give you a spotlight onto anything on your screen. You also have lots of different options. By clicking on the edge of your spotlight, you can make it as big or as small as you would like. This is perfect for letter hunts, word hunts, helping students when we are learning to read. Clicking the middle of your spotlight tool will give you lots of different options for the different sizing or even the opacity for the image around the spotlight tool. You can make it as dark or as bright as possible to help students with visual impairments. I love how easy this is for word hunts or helping students learn to read. I can also see how this will help all students with just being engaged in your lessons. And again, to change the size, you just click right on that. It can go anywhere on your screen. This is such an important tool for students learning to read. And again, this is accessed via your Magic Box.
And just sharing, I love using myViewBoard whole group and even small group. And the Spotlight tool is one of the tools that I really think will up the engagement for your entire classroom. When you're reading a text like this decodable reader that I have, think of asking students to come up and show me, where can you highlight the word cat? And they can move the Spotlight tool, or even concepts of print, have them resize the Spotlight tool, show me a letter, show me a word, show me a sentence. It really is helpful for all of your learners in your classroom. And the Irlen filters, again, are really helpful for students with visual impairments to sort of block out any colors that make it difficult for them to read or see the screen. And with this one, similar to the immersive reader, you do want to be sure that you have a text box. It is picking that text up from the text box, and it has lots of different options. It will cover up anything else on the screen, which is incredibly helpful to highlight the text and sort of block out anything that might be a visual distraction for students that need these filters. So we'll take a look at the tutorial video.
To help students with visual processing difficulties, the Irlen filters on your myViewBoard 3.0 will help your students with focus. In this bottom right-hand corner for background management, simply click on color and grid, and you will have lots of different options that will fully change the color of the background on any canvas. Keep in mind that if you're inserting your slides as backgrounds, you want to make sure that the text is still available to select on your screen. It will change the color of everything else except for the text and any icons left on your screen. On this canvas, my illustration is part of the background, so when I choose the Irlen filter, it will change that. But I love how it's giving my students the focus that they need for the text. You can change it based on your students' needs and find out what colors really work for them to help with their focus. And again, it changes the color on the whole canvas. You can apply to all pages or find different colors that work with your students. Again, click on your background management and then color and grid.
So that's the Irlen filters. And before we move on, I do want to say if you have any questions or any comments, you can drop those into the chat and the Q&A, and we will answer those as they come up. The immersive reader is such a fun tool. This is really helpful for beginning readers, students with dyslexia, even English language learners, thinking specifically for content for some of the older grades. It will translate the text that you have on your canvas. And again, just like the Irlen filter, you do want to be sure that it's not an image of text, that it is a text box so that it can pick up that text in there. And this is available in myViewBoard 3.0 enterprise subscription. So if your school has a subscription or a pro account, and that is available right in the text box or even through Magic Box. And here we'll look at a quick tutorial.
In myViewBoard 3.0, the immersive reader tool is so helpful for beginning readers, students with dyslexia, and even English language learners. When you have any text on your screen, simply tap it and tap the immersive reader icon. This will bring up a new window with lots of different options for how text is read on the screen. I like to click the settings and move the speed down just a little bit. You also have male or female voice options. And up in the upper right-hand corner, you have different text size. You can change the font and even have different Irlen filters for your students' needs. I also love how this can break up your text into syllables for students that need help decoding. Lots of different options for parts of speech. It will also label it for you. And I'm loving this picture dictionary that will help your English language learners.
The fat rat ate a bat. The fat rat ate a cat. The fat rat ate a hat. Now the fat rat needs a nap. The fat rat can nap on the mat.
So to recap on how to access the immersive reader, you can use that through your Magic Box, or as you click a text box, you'll see little icons that come up. And it's pretty easy. It's about in the middle of that icon. Just click anywhere in that text box for the immersive reader or the Magic Box. For the Irlen filters, think of that as more like an overall canvas feature that will be in the background tools in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. And the spotlight tool is also accessible through your Magic Box. That Magic Box really is where a lot of these accessibility tools will live. And let's see, we have speech to text. This one is super helpful for, and just a quick shout out, this slide right here is part of my back to school classroom management slides that you all will have access to in the ViewSonic educator community. And I could be wrong, but I think this is my 5th or 6th set of slides that I've added to that. It couldn't be easier, totally free. Join for resources, not just from me, but you can even add your own and share them as you see fit. I would actually love to see, I always kind of go in there and look and see all the fun little stuff that people are doing in their classrooms. This is one slide that I have that I will be adding by tomorrow in the educator community. So if you are not a part of that, be sure to sign up. Make sure you get those emails that will tell you when new slides have been added, just about once a week or even every couple weeks. There's just a quick update. Super fun back to school classroom management slides. But the speech to text tool I added on this slide because it's so helpful for directions. For students that can read but might have trouble remembering directions, or just needing that extra visual support on screen, you can add that anywhere. Even again, students can tap anywhere on the screen and add that, thinking of writing sentences and brainstorming stories for the younger students that really don't have the skills to actually write on their own. It's magic. It just comes, it's like me writing on paper for students, but it comes on the screen for everybody to see. I love this for emerging readers, for English language learners, and it's so easy just to add text anywhere on the screen. So we're going to watch a quick tutorial video on how to access speech to text.
The speech-to-text tool in myViewBoard 3.0 is one of my favorite new accessibility tools, especially for English language learners. This tool will add text anywhere on your canvas and can be translated into quite a few different languages. To get started, simply tap the text editor button on your main toolbar and then click the microphone. Keep in mind now that when you select your place to start, it will start recording your voice. Move the pieces to build your classroom. When you are finished, click the Done button or click anywhere outside of your text box and you will be able to edit and move around your text. This speech-to-text tool is perfect for your English language learners and really all of your students that might need extra reminders for their directions. And the speech-to-text tool, there are actually a couple ways that you can access this. I think the video shares how you can do it just by the text box in that main toolbar. It's also available in your Magic Toolbox. So there's a couple ways to access that. Again, the Magic Toolbox has speech-to-text, immersive reader, and Spotlight tool so far. Super helpful for English language learners. You can also, I don't think I mentioned this, you can change the language. So I have had years where I've had 24 kindergarten students and 11 different languages in my classroom. I barely know Spanish, so of course I don't know 11 languages. This tool would have been so helpful. That was 10 years ago. This tool would have been so helpful to change the language for my students, to give them those instructions. It really is one of the best accessibility tools for your English language learners. And really, again, these are helpful for all of your students. Every kid needs a reminder more than once. So super helpful, speech to text, accessible on your main toolbar with that text button, or your Magic Toolbox. Then we have live captions, and this is really helpful for students with audio difficulties. This will take your live speech and teaching and add live captions right on your canvas. It's another tool that's accessible via your Magic Box in the inclusion tools there. It comes right up in the middle. And again, it just has your words that appear right on the screen for your students. Very helpful for English language learners and those students with hearing impairments, hearing difficulties. So we'll just take a quick look at our ViewSonic tutorial on how to access and use live captions.
Imagine a student in your classroom trying to follow a science explanation, but missing half the words because of a hearing difference or language barrier. Now imagine those words appearing on screen in real time. That's what live captions do.
Start by tapping the Magic Box in the main toolbar. This opens your toolbox for inclusive teaching. Find the Inclusive Classroom section, then tap the Live Captions icon. Before turning it on, choose the spoken language for the captions. You'll find over 20 options. Tap the toggle to activate. You'll see a gray caption bar appear at the bottom.
Now just speak like you normally would. Your words appear as clear, readable captions. Now students don't have to rely on what they hear.
If you close the Live Captions panel, don't worry. Captions keep running, and you'll see the icon in your floating toolbar. To open the panel again, just tap the Live Captions icon. It stays available while captions are active. To stop captions, open the tool again, then toggle it off.
Use live captions during mini lessons, read alouds, and group work. They support English learners, students with hearing differences, and anyone who benefits from seeing words as they're spoken. One simple tool for helping every student feel seen and heard. Live captions support listening. Now try speech to text for writing.
So quickly, just recapping our accessibility tools, we have the Spotlight tool, which is available in the Magic Box. The Irlen filters is a little different, and think of that as more of like a canvas wide filter. That's in your background management in the little tab that's always there on any slide. The immersive reader, again, is available via your Magic Box. And the speech to text is also available through your Magic Box and the text button on your main toolbar. And then live captions, again, are available through your Magic Box. And moving on, as we support all learners in our classroom, supporting English language learners, more than your view board, you want to make sure that you have clear visuals throughout your classroom. I really like to use the same visuals that I have around my room and in the slides that I use on my view board. Making things consistent for students throughout your classroom will help them access your content and know where to go and sort of learn easier in your classroom with the visuals all being the same. Modeling language, pairing English language learners with peers that understand and can act as a bridge for students. Incorporating their home languages, which is accessible via the immersion reader and the other tools on your view board. Labeling the classroom with both visuals and clear text is super helpful, and allowing them multiple ways to show understanding and to communicate before they have the vocabulary or even sometimes the confidence to speak orally in the classroom. Many times, especially with the younger students, they can sort of show you things that they need or show their understanding in other ways. Supporting students with ADHD, again, clear and simple directions with visuals, and again, having the same visuals on your slides in your view board throughout your classroom. Providing predictable structure and routine so that they sort of know and can get used to the different routines in your classroom. Providing frequent movement breaks for them. We all know that is super important, especially for our youngest friends. Clear visual supports, incorporating choice. And this one is tricky, especially I always think for new students. Incorporating choice isn't giving them free rein. It's your structured choice. Would you like to start writing now or finish your math page first? Giving them that choice so they can have ownership over the things that they are doing in the classroom, but the choices that you provide to them are all things that they need to be doing. Segmenting tasks into bite-sized activities and even providing movement breaks if needed in between those. And consistent positive reinforcement, both oral and visual. And again, my back to school classroom management slides via the educator community will be very helpful for whole group positive reinforcement. And supporting students with dyslexia in your classroom using multi-sensory instruction, thinking of error tracing if you're working on handwriting, providing extra time for students. I also like to use visual timers so that they can start to self-regulate and understand sort of what a time period means for them and what they can accomplish in that time. Using simple directions, and providing audio where available, especially in our immersive reader, super, super helpful. And again, for dyslexic students, that Irlen filter will be helpful, and that is also available within the immersive reader. Highlighting key words for students and segmenting words into syllables will be very helpful for them. And again, providing predictable structure and routine in your classroom, which is super helpful to use a view board for, to sort of anchor your classroom schedule, to start different activities for your morning meetings. Super helpful. And again, we have our classroom management slides. I think I have 6 different slides. There are things like teacher versus student classroom management. I have this build a classroom, and you can use this however you best see fit in your classroom. I love to invite students up to add pieces to the classroom. You can do it a certain way where you have all of the pieces on into the build a classroom. And once you fill your classroom up, they get a prize, maybe extra recess or visiting the library for an extra read aloud at the end of the week. It really is up to you. All of these slides are free in the educator community and fully interactive. And now we have our check for understanding.
Okay. Thank you, Meredith. I appreciate all the information that you shared for reaching all of our students, literally. Thank you. That was super helpful. I wanted to just inquire if there were any questions for Meredith about anything that that she has gone over. I'd love for you all to drop those in the Q&A. And I'll make sure that Meredith sees those. Okay, so again, any lingering questions, please ensure that you drop them in the Q&A. So as you're thinking, as I told you earlier, we're going to be doing a check for understanding at the end. So we want to make sure that the information that was shared with you, some of the key points, are sticky. And so the way in which we're going to do that is through our one of our newer tools, which is ClassSwift. And ClassSwift is our instant feedback and engagement tool that basically brings accountability into any session in your instructional during your instructional day. So what I need for you to do is grab your phones, okay, and you're going to scan the QR code that's on your screen. Okay, so grab your phone, scan the QR code that's on your screen, and that's going to put you into your class. If you remember, in order to, just for participating, all you have to do is join the class. Remember, when joining the class, please ensure that you use the same name that you registered with. That way, if you do win a giftogram, I can get it to you, okay? So just make sure when you join the class, put your name, that same name, first and last that you used to register, so that way I can quickly match it to the registered name and get you your giftogram, okay? So give everyone just a moment to check in, and then I'm going to show you how I can check the stats. So I'm going to go into my class. And let's see, waiting for folks to join. I don't see that I have anyone in just yet. So I'll give you another minute. Sorry about that. Okay, and I'm going to go back one. Okay. There we go. All right, now I'm going to, I apologize, I had the toolbar. So this ClassSwift toolbar, as you can see, kind of floats wherever you are. And this allows you to utilize the features that we're going to use in just a moment. And that is the quiz feature here. But before I do that, I want to see that we have at least a couple folks in the class. So let me just check here. Again, you're going to grab your phones and scan the QR code. It's inside. Okay, I did. Let me end it and start it again let me end it. And then I'll start it again. I don't know, that's odd. Yeah, I will. Absolutely. My apologies. Let's try that. So go ahead and try scanning the QR code now, and it should let you in the class. Okay, and I see we've got some folks joining. Perfection. Okay, so for those of you who've joined the class, there's already 1 point for you there. And remember, our goal is to get to 5, and that way I can get you your $10 giftogram for that. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and get started. And here's our first question. So how I do that is I'm going to go to the quiz generator here. It's going to be a multiple choice question. So I click that, and notice it's just basically a screen grab. Okay. And then I'm going to make it ABC. And it's actually multiple answers. And now I'm going to start the quiz so you all will receive it on your devices. Now, the view that you see on your screen is in fact the teacher view. So you're getting kind of a snapshot of what it would look like if you utilized it in your classroom. You can see that there is that anonymous quality, if you will. So I know that Lizzie has answered, but I don't see her answers. I see my other students are answering as well. And so when I feel like enough students have answered, I can end the quiz here. I'll give another few minutes. Few, not minutes, but I'll give another minute. Okay, but just another minute or so that everyone can have an opportunity to answer. And it looks like everyone has just about answered. I can actually, Meredith talked about utilizing timer function, but that's also in the toolbox within the app. You'll see that I have a timer here. I can set that as well. So when I end the quiz here, I'm going to put in the correct answers. And then what it's going to do is come to your screen and let you know. So now you'll see as to whether or not you responded accurately. Okay, which tools in enhanced readability for students with dyslexia or attention challenges, which tools should they use? And so these are the tools. We have A, background colors, B, Irlen filters, and D, spotlight shapes. So excellent for those who didn't, here is the correct answer. And so hopefully that'll help make it a little stickier when you're thinking about how to utilize these tools in your classroom. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So, what does the immersive reader help teachers do? So once again, I'm going to go into my quiz tool here. It's multiple choice. Again, it's a screen grab. It's only one answer this time. So I'm going to untoggle and then start the quiz. There you go. You should have it on your devices now. Again, notice I can see instantly how my students are responding. I could reveal the answer, or I can do like I'm doing and keep it anonymous, but this at least lets me know that an answer has come in. So as a teacher, you know that if I see a certain students are taking longer to respond, that's one indicator. Okay, maybe I need to pull that student aside, or maybe I need to reteach something. So again, just great feedback for as teachers where we need to perhaps circle back from an instructional standpoint. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the quiz here and then reveal the correct answer. Disclose. What does the immersive reader help teachers do? And it is B, of course, convert text to speech. Woo, woo, everyone got that correct. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to keep moving to our next question. And you guys know the routine. We're going to come down here to the quiz function, select multiple choice. It's a screen grab. And again, this could be anywhere in wherever you are in your instruction on a Google Slides or PowerPoint or anywhere else. That's why that class flip toolbar moves with you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start the quiz. But before I do that, this is multiple answers. So let me start.
For this one, so I guess what the ask is right now is for this one, on 100%. For the future, can we discuss along with Ricardo what the policy is and how we'll kind of.
Okay, I'm going to give another 30 seconds and then reveal. And again, I could have also utilized the tool box here for the timer feature. And I'm going to end the quiz now. And the correct answer, as I mentioned, it is multiple. So the correct is A and C and D. Okay. So which accessibility tools can you access via the Magic Box? Live captions, Spotlight tool, and the immersive reader. Okay. So when we disclose. Nice. Excellent. I want to show you all now that there's also a leaderboard that you can or can choose to use or not, but of course that just adds to the gamification of it all. So this is available as well within the tool. Just wanted to show you that. Okay, let's go to our next question. Hold on, it's 1 moment. There we go. Okay, which students could benefit from the live captions tool? Which students can benefit from the live captions tool? So multiple choice once again. Screen grab. And it is a single this time. So let's start the quiz. There you go.
Yeah, well, we were waiting for yesterday, but I told us, well, we had to check to see if they all see validated and then it's validated. So I'll tell them thank you.
Okay. Nice. I'm going to give just another 30 seconds or so. Give it a full minute, and then I will end the quiz. Which students could benefit from the live caption tool? That's what we're wondering. Okay, I'm going to end it. Hopefully you all selected D. Nice. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Our final question is a poll question. Are you interested in learning more about ClassWift? Okay. If you are, you can scan the QR code. And if you're not, no worries. Okay. So because it's a poll question, when I come down here into my quiz, instead of doing multiple choice, I'm going to select poll here. Copy and paste. Screen grab. And then we're going to do, we only have, get rid of these two and start. There you go. Again, as you can see, or might have already realized, this, of course, is a freebie. So this might be the one that takes you over to ensure that you get your $10 giftogram. You only need five, and remember, you already got a point for just joining the class. So awesome. I appreciate you all answering that question. And again, if you are in fact interested in having more information about ClassWift, when that QR code is only going to take you to a form so that someone on our ClassWift team can reach out to you and answer any questions you might have. Okay, so I can end the quiz here. And thank you so much for participating in that very quick poll, and more importantly, for doing the check for understanding. I do hope that that helps solidify your understanding around some of the key concepts from this particular session, and gave you, again, kind of a sneak peek at what our ClassWift tool looks like. Okay, are there additional questions that we have? Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay. I'm just making sure we did not have any additional questions for Meredith regarding what we learned about today or anything that was covered today. Of course, this is being recorded, so you'll go back, you'll have an opportunity to go back and re-listen, particularly for some of the tidbits that Meredith shared. You'll want to understand how to access those, as well as what's the best use case for those tools. Okay, I think our Q&A is clear. So again, if you happen to have won one of our giftograms, you will be getting an email from me soon, and I will and you will be getting your giftogram via email as well. So thank you again for participating. Thank you, Meredith. I hope this series has been helpful to you all to really help you feel a little more at peace about easing into the myViewBoard 3.0 transition and refresh. If you, you can visit the community. If you've missed any of the other sessions, you can go to the community in our webinar recording library. You will find them all there. And of course, this will be there as soon as the recording is available. Okay, well, thank you all. Appreciate you joining us, and I look forward to seeing you in our next webinar in the future. Bye-bye.
The community, what is it? It is another layer of support that supports our ecosystem. We have free webinars, we have a product forum, we have the ability for you to connect, collaborate, and contribute with other educators.
A sense of community is really important for teachers to have a place where they can go to get their questions answered and get thoughts on best ways to help their students. And if you don't have a community built, there's not the trust in allowing people to be vulnerable and ask for that help, and also take into account that they have things to learn.
Plan on joining the educator community side by just delivering some content that I may record and sharing that with my other colleagues, and hopefully I can use some of the information that they shared and bring it back to my school district as well.
It's kind of nice because you can see what different people are doing in our region as well as across the world. There's some really good PD lectures or classes on there, and it's also a chance, it looks like, for you to ask questions or just connect with people afterwards.
In education, community is everything. I think the worst thing for a teacher is to feel stranded on an island or classroom, literally speaking, and it's important that we support each other and that we have a professional learning community that we can bounce ideas off of and learn from and get inspired from.
Community is the biggest part of education. I think that we oftentimes forget that this is the people business. We're serving all kinds of people, and people are working in the people business, right? So education is all about community and building relationships, building trust. And ViewSonic does a really fantastic job of building a community, whether it's connecting you to the right people at the right time for support, building your skills and supporting you as a learner, and then also just creating a community where you can go and ask questions.
So by now, you have to be interested in technology that drives both efficiency and success. And I know you want access to complimentary virtual product training, best practices digital workshops, thought leadership blogs, and podcasts, as well as customer support solutions. So join the thousands who nationwide and internationally who have already connected, collaborated, and contributed in the educator community. And be a part of a movement that is transforming classrooms with the ViewSonic ecosystem. I'll see you in the community.